So maybe I'm going to be working on that a little bit. Also, it's a bit of on a weird side, the light, because we just lost the light on the outside. Let's make it on the inside. So from this part, sorry. Okay, just that page now. Let's work on that. Is Jonathan with us? Welcome. Thank goodness. Thanks for joining. And your favorite part, your favorite Prokofiev with the all of the viciousness, portraying all of the viciousness. I think. So in here I see the Cyclops. Quite neurotic, right? This part very much. Glad to be here. Thanks so much. I just hope that all is good. I haven't been in touch for so long. Finally, this one is singing. Some of these notes really the parts of my so living when I'm busy. Oh my god, record. Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, it's all good. With the clumsy fingers, it's the clumsy autocorrect. Actually, it's so funny because I have 3 languages on my phone, and then I regularly forget to press that button. That's also anyway. There is emojis in the midst of that, and so many losing of the time. So many times having to press. And then it's the crazy autocorrect comes out. It's as if I'm completely, it's a completely different world, which I'm actually, but not in a good way when it comes out like that to people. official recording, but yeah, I will eventually after the COVID. I have to do the, the proper, proper putting the imprint onto this. But it's it's somehow going internal. It's quite funny the trajectory of this piece as it's starting. It's kind of going further and further into the microcosm. That's at least how I'm seeing this. Like something very mechanical, very much like a genetical, even though, yeah, genetical is mechanical actually. It's a predetermined of what's happened to, what's going to happen. It has its own philosophy. I missed that part. As if there is some kind of a buzzing. Pablo, hello, thanks for joining. Oh, to Reddit, excellent. Yeah, I love the Reddit. I love the viciousness of the Reddit because this is a super vicious piece. Holly, thanks for joining us. And thanks for the super heart, appreciate it. So, how is in Los Angeles, by the way? Was the temperatures? Because in here it's scary. Europe is under a scary situation. Anyway. It's as if yeah, I'm very inspired today. um, we all love each other, but it's the conditions and the circumstances and all sorts of societal situation that makes that love horrible. It makes the step between love and hate much shorter because we are conditioning. So anyway, just to go back to this, what I'm thinking about it, I think I'm imagining I still haven't really built the interpretation. I almost wanted to say reputation because I was talking about the reputation and the trajectory, how it goes. But anyway, I still haven't built it fully, so I don't know what I'm seeing, especially in this part, which I just shared on Instagram. Garcia, oh, sorry to hear that. So aspects of the psychopathological, actually, this partner, I think. Just go back. Why did I want to? Yeah, it's interesting how the brain is so fragmented. I just had a misnote in the worst possible moment because it's a building up. It's really the creature is kind of being created, and then I just missed the note. Is there any moderating? Yeah, I think it's okay, Jonathan. Don't worry, because now it's coming up from more platforms. I think I'm against the better judgment streaming on Facebook. The reason why I put in there that I'm exploring in togetherness because of what did I say in the title? How can I see what did I wrote in the title? See, this is my memory span like a bird. Or is it a fish? Yeah, I think it's a fish. A fish has the shortest span of the memory. No, I mean, we are constantly being watched by all of these phones. I dedicated one painting to this. It's called The Eye of Horus, which reminds me, where is it? Yeah, I think it's in the other apartment there. Thank you so much. No, it's okay because you see, there is no such thing as it's only the um, vicious comments that are kind of intolerant of somebody on the basis of nations or something like that, that really have to be like intolerance of the tolerance. But other than that, I think just if it's, juvenile stuff, it's okay. We all can live with that. We are mostly adults in here. It's very much Jatak about heavenly dew. Hello, I'm horse. Yeah, I know. Do you? Yes, I think so. That at that moment, we were actually connecting at around that time. I remember. Is it see through and that box and the interaction that sometimes positive to? Yeah, it's interesting. I was just thinking this moment. If I'm streaming, my imagination is fired for some reason, and. So it gives a lot of good sides to it, and I think it's just purging off all of the inhibitions. Um, and I also think that a lot of our ailments is when you are. What's the meaning of ailments? Ailments is like when you are sick or when you are being cured. Is that a cure? I think that a lot of diseases are psychosomatic. So lately, because I've been live streaming and just getting the confidence boosted through the roof, because what does it matter? The phones are anyway watching us. Now the question is, are we allowing it consciously, or we're just allowing it to be abused by the companies? So like this, we are just doing it consciously. That's my, I mean, okay, so a lot of the ailments, psychoanalyst, I don't think so. But I like to delve into all sorts of stuff. So when it comes to the to these kind of things, and I think that it's somehow related to the stomach. Like there are all of these things, when you are nervous and then the stomach is acting, and especially with the music, if you are performing, I mean, there is all sorts of stuff going on, and the feeling is before the performance, and so I've definitely noticed that I'm much stronger in that department as a result of just letting the eye of Horus watch and me watching as well. Yeah, I love Jung. Yeah, it's one of my favorite first psychologists, psychoanalysts who have been going deep into the archetypes, into the historical ancient past, and so much is dug deep into the subconscious. So Freud was doing a bit more on the physiological side of things, more of the kind of a chemistry, I would say. And it's interesting because it's more related to the manipulation. I was reading, yeah, this is the book. I was trying to remember because I think on the previous stream somebody was also mentioning something related, and there's a book called Elephant in the Brain. I forgot the author. I know that I'm following him on Twitter. He's a live author, and it's really opened my world in relation to how much manipulation is going on in the brain when we are even with our own thinking, how much we are. Yes, I'm a classical pianist, but I'm also a painter. All of that I've done, and the sculptures, installation arts, a lot of stuff. So, and I'm trying to do interdisciplinary projects as well as a result of it. So I did the art of fugue with the 30 paintings. That was such a joy. And you're coming from the YouTube, so actually you can see there some of that. But I'm going to repeat, I'm going to do another series because this piano is way better than the one I was actually recording it on last winter. I was doing a project. We have to take the manipulation by social media, yeah, extra on the neck and make it something we control. So, yeah, so the thing is, you can't control what's fluid. You can't control the rivers. You can't control the water, and that's the way I see with social media. You can't control it; it's just there. But what we can is see the watchers. We can watch the watchers, and that's, I think, very important because we have to be aware what's going on with the information. Where are they going? This there are layers of web, like the big data layer, which we don't have access as an individual, but as a company you get an access to that kind of stuff, and on that basis all of the analysis and all of the ads and stuff, and what Gerald Lanier calls the siren servers, they have a lot of advantages, some people over the others. But Chris is with us. Thank you so much. I absolutely appreciate your joining, Chris. Great. Yeah. So I think it's the same way like how we are treating the waters of our planet. We are dirtifying it. We are destroying it right now. But eventually we'll have to learn how to recycle, how to make it more. France, welcome. Elgrid. Ukraine. No, okay, welcome. Friends, Pavlos with us, wonderful, great to see you, Pavlos. So let's go back to the Prokofievism as we are thinking about how to recycle our waters of social media. Jonathan, thanks for the super heart. What's that? That's the I can't even read this. You see, this is just how blind I am. Great discussion. Oh, excellent. Yeah, thank you. It's indeed a great discussion, and it solely depends of you. And of course, when you are in there, it's always something either witty or super deep to think about. So I have to make myself a robot in here. This is very mysterious, this part. capriciousness, I missed so many notes. Okay. Yeah, it's still not fully formed. It's like the baby is being formed. So, and also for me, every note has to have some kind of a meaning. I have to see something, which reminds me also it has to be a tolerable temperature. I don't know how good it is that I have my aircon right above the piano because it's a hybrid, so it might be drying it down. I hope it won't. Interesting part. I was losing. You see, I wrote down in here a nucleus. Thanks. Of the streamers. Thank you. So it's all of the Reddit activated right now. I remember once I went. Is it now on our pen? Yeah. I don't know how it works actually, but I remember once I had a lot of viewers. It was very interesting conversation as well. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about Reddit. It's very, very interesting conversations, oftentimes. About a wide range of things, and that's all I'm about. Thanks. So it's some kind of a whisper in here, something. I wrote down in here ignition as well, something. And it's coming back to haunt from the first movement. It's very funny. This laugh I'm having at this moment where I wrote down the desolation. It's almost like the common sense has just flew out of the window. Thanks so much, Brian. I've played many years. I'm a professional pianist and done to the concerts, competitions, conservatories, everything, all of the drill. And now I'm not doing concerts, not only because of Corona, because of idealistic beliefs that the concerts are a little bit of the Colosseums of the today's world, and they are over. Over them. But I do recordings every so often, and in the meantime, I'm also doing paintings and sculptures and all of this kind of stuff. So almost with music, it's to train yourself how to think. I wrote down the spirit of devastation. What's happening as well is that it's a flow, but at the same time, it's almost like it's like a training how to think in association to this construct of the sound. So ultimate manipulative. And this is transforming, healing, lamenting. Let's make a chat pose. Have you playing for us and here? And thank you so much. Thanks. Appreciate Brian. Dutch French Lydian house is thanks so much. I don't know who that person is. I don't have the time that much to watch the repan at all. Mark, welcome. It's atmospheric that very much, isn't it? This kind of from here I'm almost because when I was building the interpretation for this, I think that I was reading about this kind of a desert feeling, and I was reading about war, obviously, and this deserted feeling, when just the devastation. Actually, I wrote down in here a Kronos, and the higher being is among us. Some kind of a judgment as well. That's anyway how it's revolving in my head. How is it in yours? Actually, that has to be for the. And then the ogre is going to wake up in here. But very long. Although I haven't started from the age of 8 or 9, so I'm not going to be revealing my age. It's the safety issues, not so much about hiding the age. But many, I can say a few decades. But I didn't start very early. It's a super interesting part. Okay, so that has been a lot of mess. So I have to work on this now a little bit in the slow motion. This ogre waking up. Ogre is a creature like so much. Yeah, so my name is Arina Ideas. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me on this stream. And so the hardest part of studying the piano is controlling the brain. It's a discipline. You imagine, sorry, just before I continue the question, Brian said, I imagine storm clouds and the horse running, but meeting the edge of cliff. Oh, I love it. I love that. You mean from here? Yeah, because there is something of the horses. Actually, many of the people thought of that. Many, isn't it? It's like galloping. And for me, I wrote down in here a parasite of karma, a guilty consciousness in this point. So now let me continue on with the interesting question. As the universe is the only, thank you. I love that, Jonathan. So yeah, so about the hardest part, so it's really the discipline for the mind to really to keep practicing, to keep thinking. But it's not practicing just for the sake of practicing for hours and upon hours, but thinking about it and then how to convey emotions to others. It's very easy when it comes to the emotions. That's not the difficult part, because there are pieces like the Chopin, for example. It's immediately all about emotions. You see, it's just leading you. So some kind of, so it's not about the emotions, in my opinion. Or if you start, this is kind of emotional piece. Yeah, I'm going to be messing on there, so maybe practicing that later. But so the emotions, it's just with music, because emotions are in time. So this is also, I think, with visual arts, when it comes to emotions, they have to grab the attention to initiate the emotions. And sometimes it's not even necessary to have the emotions grabbed when it comes to visual arts. With music, I think it's more natural. Just that. And exactly, and then it builds up. James, thanks for subscribing, appreciate it. So anyway, let's go back to this galloping of this karmic guilty consciousness, and getting to the, just me practicing now. Look at that. Okay, so until there, so I've totally messed up in here. So let's just work on it, because it's indeed like something is collapsing in here. It's finally reached the point of breaking, I think, in my opinion, like something waking up, something very vicious. So in here, now is, let's see, is the transfer of emotion to hands to communicate some sort of coherent message. Is exactly, it impresses you. Yeah, and like for me also, somehow emotion is more like a catch, and then it's the construct that lives, because we navigate through life via emotions. It's a this emotion there, that emotion there, and then we gravitate towards certain emotions. And then I sometimes think, is our body really manipulating us from one point to another? from one emotion to another, how genuine, how connected to something higher beyond us are the emotion themselves. But then we have the constant, because they are not constant, they are also fluid, they're also rivers within us, right? And so they're constantly changing. And but the mind has the power to have something that's absolute. And then of course the absolute without the context is desperate, but the absolute has the power to create, in my opinion. That's how the mother of all invention. But still emotions are kind of pushing us there, has to navigate emotional constructs that are in place exactly because we are even born. That's an interesting, has to navigate the emotional construct that are in place before we are even born. How are we before we are born? I was really interested in those books, near death experiences. And when I was studying psychology in America, I was obsessed with parapsychology. That was the area of the the section that I would be reading most about. And of course, because it's about something intangible, um, very difficult to measure, because we need to measure these things with statistical tools or some others, and it's kind of on the edge. And like there is a lot of overlap when it comes to telepathy and this kind of stuff. But when it comes to near death experience, how are we in between? Are we really drinking from that river of forgetfulness, as Plato was telling us, and then we just get reborn? And do we have a memory from the previous life somewhere dug deeply? Okay, now I understand. The construct are in place for generations. Yeah, because the genetics also seems to have its own philosophy. Like, you never know what kind of genes will happen, and what generation will be transferring. From what generation, how many generations ago. Our parents have had this exactly, and we are influenced by them. Absolutely, yes. And social construct. Now I understand you. Yeah, social, and also the social and the genetics. It's quite an interesting thing, actually, to think about, and how it all revolves, all of that combinatorics. And how are we thinking about the society, how are we living with. I see that. This is the brain is playing with me now in this part, definitely. So just to work a little bit more, because this is a very nasty part. You see, now this is the example where the brain is playing havoc. This is about the havoc, everything going wrong. Is like about the I think tumbling down, just going down the hill, down the abyss. But the interesting thing is sometimes it's the case of embracing the abyss, and then things get solved. Thought-provoking broadcast. Thank you so much. Yeah. And that's also the result of all of you. See, that's the beauty of life. It's because it's made in togetherness. It's Like for me, if I'm doing a YouTube, this kind of, self-centered, it doesn't feel self-centered, even though if it seems like when it comes to live streaming, because of this interactive aspect, it's very human. It's the most human. So I wrote so much about the effect of live streaming. I've just composed now this part. I think, yeah, I haven't actually. Okay, so I'm just in here. Like in the movie, something is going to vicious going to happen. And you see in the classical music, actually, you can have a very small segment, and it already tells a lot. Okay. My playing in here is almost as catastrophic as the catastrophe that this piece is actually portraying in here. I can see that you bridge so many forms of art with that. Thank you. The same music influences the other art. It's interesting part. Yes. So, Brian, great question. So for me, my first love is the actually Jonathan, please. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. God, thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining, and thanks for the super heart as well. In over there, it's the which one is the brilliant? Thanks, and definitely back at you as well, because none of these conversation wouldn't have launched without you and everybody that has been participated. So I would say that for me, my first love is really astronomy, so that's what I've always been interested in, but I've never had the time or discipline, or it never happened because of circumstances. You see, in life, so many times the circumstances are forging the way. Hello, Jay Oprah, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. And also great to see you on the Discord. No, is it Discord? Yeah, it's Discord server the other day as well. So welcome there, and looking forward to, and I can see that you're doing a lot of the cooking streams, which I look forward to exploring and seeing what we can do. Exactly. So thanks, and likewise. And the other thing is, so what happened is that I started with painting horses obsessively as a child. For several years, I was only painting horses. So my mother thought maybe it's the autism, who knows what's happening, but I didn't have any other signs. So it was just the plain obsession. And then I totally gave up on horses. I'm not interested in horses any longer. Now it's all about the eagles and the orcas, but for different reasons. I'm joking. But thing is that I think that when it comes to music, because it happens so spontaneously through the competitions and just even concerts, and it was kind of a different time when it was a little bit competitive, so I had to go for a different. Um, this kind of like enrolling early the academy and going for the universities, it felt just a bit different world to the world that we are in now. So I think that um, they kind of overlap in my case, and with Goldberg variation, I think that was one of the main reasons where I was trying to, where I probably managed to some extent to join my passions between the music, visual, and philosophical. So each one of these, maybe I should play just a few and then tell about it. It's pity the rest of the paintings are underneath one of the beds in the house because they can't fit in anywhere else. There are 30 paintings in there. So I just see things and I'm playing, for example, this one. From the beginning, when I was learning the piece, I was seeing duality, footprint, mind that can conquer even something as predetermined as genetics. Like, listen to this. It's very funny. In the first part, I totally didn't play it that well, and then the second part, I got into the back because it's very difficult from the midst of the Prokofiev of the ending. It's always the past, orcas are the future. Exactly. Yes. So that's the subconscious evolution of the animal kingdom in my mind, right? Orca and eagles. Don't forget the eagles. So yeah, thanks. And likewise, Jay. Okay, disciplined fingers. Not so much the first part. For some reason, I don't know. So in here now, just to connect it with everything. Timothy, thanks for joining, for subscribing. With the finger killed the song survive. Team. I have no idea what is that. Is that some kind of serious? Sorry, I don't know. But yeah, so. Maybe I have to hear this a bit more. So I was actually painting kind of like exploding elements. It's this piece, this painting dedicated to the variation number one is connected to the exploding elements because I believe that with the mind, we can really conquer no matter how much genetical destiny, whatever determination, because there is this kind of tiny elements, free will, maybe whatever you want to call it, or will to power, as Nietzsche wants to call it. So, and oftentimes we are driven by this will to power. It's just how we are. And maybe this kind of war connected pieces, which I'm right now working on, that I was playing before this, are maybe the expression of this drive to go forward like that. So let's go back to Prokofiev now. And it's going to be a mess until I go back to Prokofiev. I'm messing up a little bit. Something is knocking. Very suspended now. Okay, so let's work on this. I'm imagining here some kind of a deity relaxing in the valley after all of this natural disaster. And I say natural, I think also human induced, because we are also part of nature, but we went AWOL a little bit at some point through history. So this kind of higher being is just observing all of that mayhem that's happening, that's actually being expressed in here. And it's almost like very mysterious. You see, it's a different reality now. Back to the beginning. So let's see now. Accurate recover. I like that username. You were joking. I don't know what you were joking about. Sorry, I missed your comment over there. So now let's go back to the non-joking part of this. Because okay, so until that part, just for me to memorize. breaking up of everything, so now it's better, except for the 2 pages before that, where I've written down a genetic mutation. So this part. It's interesting conditioning of the brain to actually do that. Just one more time here. Okay, so this is part. This is like a ringing of some kind of bells. Okay, so I think that's it for now for this sonata. Maybe start a little bit the seventh. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Now in here we are really, really going into the demonic world, like. That was too inanimate, so everything has to be an animate object. Yeah, very long time I'm a professional concert pianist, but also other things. So that means I'm not really practicing that much on a daily basis, since I've arranged my life in between many different things. And so let's just start. So another thing as well, I just realized about this sonata. The previous one, the number 6, because I was working on that before, and I wrote down pretty much on every page some indicators as to where is the association, what am I seeing when playing different parts. And then with this one, I actually couldn't, because it's a bit more abstract in a sense that it's about the deeper layers of consciousness, I think, subconsciousness. And So it's more emotional because I think this Jonathan bracing up about the emotions in music, how to, or was it Brian actually, how is the music being, how is it communicating the emotional? And I think in this sonata there is much more of the emotional, of the deeper layers of the emotions, because it's the facing of death, of the some of the hardest thing in life, the suppression by the government and all sorts of the iron hands that was happening at the midst of the 20th century in Soviet Russia. So that's basically very much like a scream of the monk. You know that scream where he's screaming for the planet, that painting, that's very emotionally involving. Yes, so anyway, I'm not going to dignify that either with the comment either prudent person. Very interesting to come from a prudent person, such a comment. So anyway, oh, Metamorphosis and the Cycles in History. Metamorphosis. Who wrote Metamorphosis? Hold on a second. Cycles in History. Absolutely. Who wrote Metamorphosis? I knew about it. I think I wanted to even play. Anyway, to read. Ah, Kafka, right. I didn't read, but I want it always. I'll have to sometimes. So now this is the second theme. Very difficult. So it's just going mad, exactly like in a Kafka, you know, this world that's very abstract. This is excellent association. Actually, Brian, thanks for being with me the whole time. So in here, express adolente has to be very expressive. Very suppressive, suppressed. Because you are not allowed to mourn your friend who has been stigmatized by government. And I'm also losing the light. So I have to turn on the light over there. And I should ideally pull out my ring light because this might be an inspiring thing to do, to be a little bit more on the piano today, although I should be painting as well. Where will we get the ring light now? I think from underneath, from here somewhere. This is not the best position, but what can we do? Okay. So that's it. Now we have a super weird light. It's very strange, but anyway, it's okay. I summoned all the spirits. I summoned all the spirits in your house. That's great. I like that comment a lot. Yeah, it's very much like this. Okay, so even though that part needs a lot of work, a lot of work, I'm maybe just go through it very much. I wrote down in here a logotherapy, and that's in honor to Viktor Frankl, one of the books that really inspired me. That kind of I don't know if some of you have read that book. It's very interesting. It's about the experience in the concentration camp, and because this sonata is dealing with that time, the mid-century, a bit less than that, but 1942, I think it was written, and it's dealing with the war, and it's exactly at that time there are all this crushing of the humanity of the humans of an individual, because when you crush an individual you are affecting the whole, even though it seems that it's not like that, but it is. It's always because we are part of the whole ecosystem, and we are part of each other as well. I think eventually we'll learn this. No awards though. You had no awards. What did you mean? I had the spirits. Nice enjoying birth because I thank you so much, Brian, and I really appreciate your comments, because it's the comments that actually make the broadcast a bit more contextual, a bit more power in it always. So anyway, so let's go now through this part in a very slow motion because I'm practicing. It's a very scary part. These are the screams. to work on more of these pages. So much exhaustion. Okay, so that's definitely a bit better. Brian, thank you for the award. Really appreciate it. So, but I still have this part that's completely messed up, and I love it when you said that about summoning all of the spirits in the house. That's definitely what's happening. Okay, so the goal is now for next part, for this part to be worked on. So I'm going to finish that. Maybe just try a little bit of the third movement, and it's already 1 hour and 20 minutes that I've been streaming, which is more than my usual. I'm just going to move on. Yeah, just a little bit of Rachmaninoff, and that's it. Where is my Rachmaninoff? Here it is. Get the Rachmaninoff for the ultimate scary, for the scary part of scary stream all together. Um, Need to hide my code from all of you. Oh, I have a painting actually. This painting I've been working on. Okay, so where is it? Here it is. Excellent. So just a little bit. I don't know if I can actually, can I hear properly all of the voices? Okay, let's work on this in a slow motion. Um, Okay, I think that's it for now. I might be having to, oh yeah, I'm actually running out of battery in there as well. So anyway, so this was super enjoyable, and especially the conversation. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining and exploring this scariness with me, all of this kind of strangeness with the music. And sorry about the light, Brian. Thank you so much for the super hearts. Appreciate it really, and really appreciate also the comments and the interaction. It has really been interesting questions that you've been asking, and because they help me um, go deeper into the layers of. It's quite an interesting this others in togetherness, practicing exploring the peace in togetherness and sharing. So thank you so much. I'll see you another time. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, everywhere in the world, and keep safe from everything that's surrounding us, both micro and macro world. I'm hinting Corona. So I'll see you. Bye.